Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SportyCast YouTube channel. My name is Riaz Parker, and today is going to be a spicy episode indeed. Today is episode 135 of the 343 podcast, and I am joined by AF this evening. AF, how are you doing, my brother?
I am doing amazingly well, surprisingly. How are you?
Oh, good, thank you. That is quite surprising, to be honest, but I'm glad to hear that. It's lovely to hear. um, yeah, that surprises me. It kind of caught me off guard there for a second, but it's fine. I'm also joined by Ziad this evening. Ziad, thank you for joining us. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, all good, man. Ready to go.
Excited for, I guess, this weekend, or you guys played last night, so happy about the outcome.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's a long wait till Sunday. It's like the last game of the match week, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a long wait, but enough other sport to keep me going till then. And content, lots of content.
You love to see it. Great stuff. And joining us as well on this episode is, of course, the pulse winger, Sripa. Sripa, thank you so much for joining us this evening. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me again.
It's lovely to have you. It's always good to have you on the podcast. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're gonna be talking about just some reviews from the weekend, some takes from my fellow hosts here and fellow people on the podcast. Since I don't have to be involved this evening, which is lovely, we don't have to talk about my team at all. So we're gonna talk
You
about
support
something
all the
else.
teams, though, so
So technically,
you kind of are involved.
yeah, I guess so. That's true. I'll take that. I'll take that. We're gonna just review some of the results from the weekend, and then of course there's some massive matches on this weekend. I feel like every weekend there's like big games, but this weekend there's like three at least massive games on this weekend. So we're going to talk about that as well, and that's plenty of content for the next hour as well. Hopefully, I can direct the ship to shore and not hit the iceberg on the way. So let's see how we go. As always, get your comments in the chat. If you are here right now, please give this stream a like, a thumbs up, and share this with everybody. Get your comments in the chat. Tell us anything that you would like, any questions that you have and that you want us to answer as well. We'll be sure to get to that as soon as we can. Let's start off with Shripad. Shripad, in terms of this weekend's game, it was a 2-2 draw. But before we get to that, talk to me about how you see your team in general, like after the transfer window. How is Chelsea? Are you happy with the transfer window? Do you think you guys have enough to kind of challenge? And what are your kind of thoughts for the team for the season?
I think we've done well, surprisingly well in the transfer window. The only issue for me was letting go of Jackson at the end. From the start, I thought we needed to go with three strikers because I did not see Joao Pedro as a proper number 9. I saw him as someone who should be playing as a false 9 or just like the second striker behind the main striker. Like how then we saw that with Delap as well. When Delap and he combined at West Ham, it was just that's exactly how I think we should have used him. So I think letting go of Jackson is the only question mark on the Chelsea transfer window because I think many will point out at the lack of getting a centre back and a goalkeeper. But for me, I think that's a smart decision, keeping the future in mind. Because Mike Magnan would have been a good signing because that is a good opportunity. But since that was not happening, I think it was a good decision not to go for anyone else. Because I did not think there was anyone who could come in and just fit into the Maresca style straight away. And as for the future, we have Mike Penders, who's actually a very, very good prospect. So I think, and he's already shown at Strasbourg that he can be the future goalkeeper for Chelsea. So that's good. And in terms of centre back, I think again the same thing. We have Sarr and Ansemino. Those two are really good, and sending them out on loan was ideal. Even though I think many will say we should have also tried to get Hincapié on loan instead of Arsenal. That is a possibility, but I don't think there was any interest in him. Apart from that, I think the transfer window went really well. The addition of Fermin Lopez would have been a good boost, but again, with the future in mind, I think we have that position covered. It was not a big miss, even though I think Lopez is a very good player.
Yeah, and in terms of the future, where do you see this team, the squad, kind of being able to get to? Do you feel like you will challenge the season?
I think we can challenge, and I don't think we'll win, but I think it'll be better than last year. I think there will be someone finally challenging Liverpool for the title instead of just being pretenders behind them. So I think that will be a good thing to watch this year.
Yeah, 100%. That's lovely to hear. AF, in terms of the Jackson transfer, of course, like there was a bit of maybe he was going to come back, things like that. But I guess having to lap and João Pedro proving that he kind of can lead the line, kind of quells that kind of issues that they think that they might have had.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's a matter of trying to keep players happy as well. You don't really want a player to just stay at the club and then rot away on the bench and be third in line in the picking order. He's gone out to Bayern. I saw today something about if he scores tonight and he's going to celebrate, and so that basically says all that you need to know about how his feelings are towards the club, because to him they just discarded him, and he probably felt that he did a bit more to earn some more respect from Chelsea. But yeah, like I'm happy that he made sure to put his career first and not just sit on the bench and be third in line.
That's fair. I mean, you can see just in the way that the penalty kind of situation will always kind of stick in my mind, where him and Noni kind of fought over the penalty, and it's just the kind of the outlook that he has in terms of him wanting to, I guess, prove himself. But Ziad, there we go. Okay, that's one for Sripad. Ramiz asks, how does Sripad feel about the Garnacho AFC situation? Ultimately, I'll let you answer that.
I'll be honest, I didn't want Garnacho to join at all, because not more than the on-pitch issues that I see with him, it's the off-pitch issues that I had in mind. Because there's like, after a couple of players left, there's proper team unity for the last, at least for the last 18 to 20, 24 months. I think we have had a proper team unity going on there. I think that would have been a big focus for Maresca as well, and for the entire club, that they want to keep that intact, because that has shown that these players do care about each other, and that's one thing I thought with the addition of Garnacho there might be an issue. But on pitch, I think there's still a lot of raw potential there. It's not going to be a situation where you have like we didn't pay over the top. I think 40 million is a very decent piece for him.
Yeah.
And especially given how like, if he had not fallen out with Ruben Amorim, I think United could have actually got double of what I think the situation was. But given the situation, I think they've done well to add Garnacho, though I'm still not sold on him. I think he did well in the Brentford game. That's his debut there, and that was okay. But let's see. I think the jury's still out on Garnacho, and I don't want to like just say all the negative things and start an agenda or anything. I think he should be given enough time to at least show what he has at Chelsea, that before we start thinking if it was a good transfer or not.
Yeah, we had Austin in the chat a couple of weeks ago when he moved, and Austin, another Chelsea fan, of course, was kind of saying that he doesn't mind the transfer, because in a couple of seasons you guys will be able to kind of sell Garnacho for about 60 million again. So
to
it's
Arsenal.
not really to Arsenal probably, yeah. But Ziad, in terms of Chelsea, where do you see them kind of going this season, and do you feel like they have the chance to battle for the title? Do you think they'll just fall short?
No, I think
we can challenge.
Champions. So they won the Club World Cup, right? So based on that, they should be at the top, because they're the best club in the world, right?
Technically, they did beat PSG as well on the way to that.
Exactly. So that's something Arsenal couldn't do, beat PSG. So I reckon they're up there.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't beat PSG either. PSG is the best side in Europe, apparently, and they did it. So I assume they would do that. But so they are playing, of course. Before we go into previews here, is there any other games that you thought you wanted to talk about? Any other things from the weekend that just passed now that you saw that you want to kind of get into?
I think for me, the disappointing thing, or something we need to watch, is Aston Villa. They played 4 games, haven't scored a goal. I think that's a bit worrying.
Yeah.
especially considering they do have a couple of signings that are supposedly there to inject something into the squad. But they were all on the bench. And I read a stat that they played 8 of their 11 starters were from the same team that Dean Smith coached in
Wow.
2021. So that is a bit scary. Um, I guess they'll probably come right at some point, but that's a storyline I'm watching to see if Villa can. And I saw Emi Martinez back in the polls, which is weird also,
Yeah.
considering that he had literally said farewell to everyone, and there was a whole saga with him. But it's good to see they got him back and he made a great save in that Everton game. Header from Michael Keane, I think. Fantastic save. So that's something I'm just keeping an eye on, Aston Villa.
Yeah, it's weird that they haven't kind of scored a goal yet. Sorry,
They looked better last night though in the Carabao Cup. They went out. It went to penalties, but they did look a bit better. I can't remember what the final score was, but I just remember it went to penalties. A lot of the new signings also like kind of made their debuts as well, including Jadon Sancho. So
Okay.
yeah, like I think it's just going to be about that, like time to get these players to start gelling with each other, build that chemistry, and because a lot of them arrived late in the window, like towards the end of the window, so there wasn't really that time for everybody to come in and sort of form some sort of cohesion.
Yeah, but I mean,
and the other thing, West Ham, Potter's gone, bro. I don't know how much
Yeah.
longer he's gonna last there, but there are people circling.
I
There's a
saw
lot of
Kieran
nice-
McKenna was in the VIP suite over the weekend,
Yeah,
okay.
so
it's
that could
a
be
matter of
something.
time, I reckon.
Are we thinking he's going to be the first one that's gone? Is that what's happening
Well,
here?
Nuno's gone already. Nuno was the
Oh
first
yeah,
one.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot that big Andrew's back. I forgot. How can I forget that? That was interesting. How do we feel about that? Firstly, AF, since you reminded me of it, I'm not sure if we spoke about it last week, but how do we feel about that?
We spoke about this last week, but yeah, it's just like it was a weird one. I don't understand it, and there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes, obviously that we don't know. But what like the rumors and the leaks that's come out from journalists is that it was him and Edu sort of butting heads. I think Ziad can probably offer more insight from an Edu perspective about like how he gets along with people in the coaching staff, but I don't think that there was any problem between Nuno and Marinakis. I think it was more just Marinakis taking Edu's side in the entire situation.
It's weird for me because they kind of went from an extreme defensive approach to an all-out attack approach in the two managers. Like last season, they had the least possession. They did really well. I'm not saying it was a bad approach.
Yeah.
They did really well. It was just very defensive and counter-attacking. They had 4 attackers. They attacked. They had 6 defenders. They defended, and they got really far last season. They just ran out of a bit of steam. And now they've gone from that to someone who defends with 2 players. So it's going to be really interesting to see how long it takes for Ange's identity to be put onto the team. And then they'll win Europa League and come 16th, and the cycle will start all over again. Or 17th. I mean, I think we came 17th last season. But yeah, it's back to Aston Villa. I feel like they kind of did really well in terms of kind of keeping the core together, but I suppose not having that injection of people. They put Harvey Elliott, like you were saying, and Sancho in, but the goals just seem to have dried up somehow, and it's really interesting to see them at close to the bottom of the log, especially when they've done really well in the past couple of seasons. But definitely one to watch for sure. While we were talking about this, we might as well get into the first preview game, and that's Chelsea versus Manchester United. Since Manchester United, we haven't spoken about United yet, but Shipper, in terms of this game, are you happy that it's this early into the season, or that now is the time that you were going to be playing United?
I'm a bit confused right now because I think the first time I came on this podcast, it was Eric Ten Hag's, like the end of Ten Hag, this one tenure.
think
I was
it
talking
was.
about. I was talking about saying I'm sad that Ten Hag has been sacked, and now I'm saying. I think it was exactly at that time. I still remember saying I had the confidence that we'll win, and then they sacked Ten Hag. So now it's going to be a draw, and I think it was a draw last year. This year, I think again they given how they played against City, I hope they play the same way against us as well, because that's exactly how we like our opponents to press us. But yeah, as far as I've seen Ruben Amorim, I don't think he has a plan B. He sticks with just one plan, and he just continues with that. So I don't see much changing in terms of how he plays. So hopefully we finally break that 13-year-old, say 12-year-old curse of not winning at Old Trafford and getting that win.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
don't worry. Don't worry. If Ruben Amorim sees the record, I mean, you know what's going to happen next.
he wants to break it.
He likes to
wants
break the record.
He's been breaking all the bad records like one by one. Look, like Ruben Amorim's not a bad manager, guys, but if he's stubborn, that's what he is. He is extremely stubborn. He's so stuck to his ways. Like in the press conference after the last game, he said, "I'm not going to change my style. I'm not going to change my methods. If you want to change the style, you change the man." That's basically him telling the board to sack him, or like if they want anything else. So like he's saying that already. Enzo Maresca now knows if he's coming up against Ruben Amorim this weekend, he's still going to play the same system. He knows exactly how he's going to be able to exploit the system, like every other Premier League manager knows. Like Marco Silva spoke about it after the Fulham game as well. He literally just gave an entire clinic on how to break Ruben Amorim's system, and he still said the words, "It's that easy." So I mean, if Marcus Silva saying that Enzo Maresca, he's not a bad manager. He knows he's probably already 10 steps ahead, and he knows how to sort of manipulate the system. So I just don't see any way that United can get out of this right now without forcing Ruben Amorim to change the system or to just part ways with him somehow.
I'm actually surprised that he's sticking with that same tactic. Like even we've seen so many managers come into the Premier League, even Guardiola, Ancelotti, Klopp, everyone who's come in, they've understood that their tactics need to be tweaked at least. If they, it's not just going to be the same thing, they always at least try to tweak things up. Because Guardiola changed like a lot from his first season to second season. He came in the first season. I honestly thought there's no chance Guardiola is going to do anything in the Premier League. But then second season, he just changed the whole team. He changed his whole tactics, and then that's when he started winning. But then I don't understand. Like last season, when Amorim was saying, "I don't have the players, this, that," and I was okay, fine. You can at least he's experimenting, trying to see who fits into his system and all that. But then this year he's got at least a few more players, and he's just going like I don't understand. There's no improvement in anyone, to be honest. And to play with Bruno and Ugarte as the midfielders, it's like might as well just play Harry Maguire up front and think, okay, let's get a header in.
Agreed. That's I fully agree with you on that. And I honestly I don't mind Maguire coming on at the end of the game. I don't mind him being a sub, but then he needs to go on in the front, like you just said. He needs to go on as a striker, I guess. But I think Ziad, the issue isn't the system. I'll be honest. I don't think personally that the issue is the system. I don't think that he's a bad manager. I don't think that he is the issue. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. But I just don't think it's the system that's the problem. I think it's the profiling of players and how they fit into the system that's the problem. Like the system could technically work if Bruno stays as a 10, if Kobe Manu plays in the middle, if all these players play in the right position.
That's down to Ruben Amorim.
That's why I said. That's why I back by him.
Else.
But the system is what I mean. Like the system isn't the problem. So I'm not saying that he is not the problem. I'm saying that the system is not the problem. Might as well bring Benny on. Ruben is good. No comment on that one. But Ziad, what are your thoughts on it? Since you are the kind of analyst in the situation, give me your thoughts on how it's going to work.
It's pretty simple, right? Your job is to win matches and get points.
Yeah,
win, draw,
I
you
get
get
you.
points. If you draw, you lose, you get no points. You're stuck with the guys that you're working with. You can't keep wishing that you had better players or other players or whatever the case is. So just get points, get your team up the table, get confidence, and you can always change. Go to your preferred system later on once you get to a point where you can actually do it. And I think that's the worst part about whatever is brought to the table is that obviously it works if you have the players that you want forward. We saw him play well at Sporting. I think he beat City even as a Sporting manager
Yeah.
not long before he came to United. So at the end of the day, the coach's job or the manager, whatever his um, title is, you have to get buy-in from your players. And if you're not getting buy-in, you need to change your message or change how your message is being delivered to try and get that buy-in. And if you, like Jason said earlier about, live by the sword and die by it, if you believe that the only way to play is that way and the players are not doing it or can't do it, then something's got to give and you are going to be out of a job because you can't have this club so low on the log. You need to win games, bro. It's that simple. So I mean, yeah, I'm all for having a philosophy and all that stuff. But if you're that stubborn, you're gonna be gone.
Yeah,
I do agree with the winning games part of it. Sorry, if
Sripad mentioned about like coming to a new league and you have to sort of tweak your system and stuff like that. Xabi Alonso went on a worldie of a run with Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. He was also sort of married to a 3-4-3, 3-5-2 system. He went to Real Madrid, literally one game in, he changed his system. He was like, this is never going to work in La Liga. And now he plays a flat 4-3-3. And his teams are getting results with 10 men, 2 games back to back now. He had players sent off, and they still find a way to get the win after going down to 10 men. So some something needs to happen at Man United. Ruben Amorim has to sort of tweak something somehow, and he has the players to play a four at the back, to play a 3-man midfield. There's nothing stopping him from getting the results. Like Ziad said, the football is the results business. If you're not going to get it, you're going to be out.
does that mean that you are Amorim out, AF? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
It means that if he is going to keep on being stubborn and he refuses to change, then I might as well want to see the back of him.
I get you, and I mean, Richard makes a great point, and it's definitely results driven. Unfortunately, the only problem I guess is that you guys aren't in enough cups to kind of nullify that. Yeah, Kudu, that's exactly what's happening. Um, well done to guess that on just the way we look in our faces.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, just to jump in quickly, I know what you're saying with the cups, right? But they had that with Eric Ten Hag and the cups that he won papered over the cracks. They still wanted him out anyway. They
yeah,
still
Yeah.
finished in the bottom half of the table. So it's all good and well to use the cups and stuff, but what are you working towards, man? And honestly, I think he's already lost the dressing room. The captain, I think Bruno gave a press conference that was a bit dodgy
yeah.
after the game against City. He kind of threw him under the bus. And it's very hard to come back from that just from a people perspective, right? Like everyone in that group, they're all humans. And if if the guys aren't willing to fight for each other, or at least don't do it in public, right? But when they throw each other under the bus like that in public, it's gone. You can see the way, I mean, for the guys that follow the Manchester Derby, right? I saw their content and they showed him walking down the tunnel and he shook Miggs' hand. He was gone, bruh. He looked like he was like at the funeral
Yeah.
and he's just like, and honestly, I've seen that look on playing to managers. It's like they know that they're coaching for their job and all that does is delay the inevitable. Because at some point you're out if you're coaching for your job. Every week you're looking over your shoulder. You It's not gonna work. Man. And the sad part is it doesn't help even to sack him because who do you bring in next and then you start the
Yeah.
cycle over. And we
Yeah.
can go through all the managers if you want to. It, it doesn't help to keep sacking someone because then he needs another 3 4 windows to get his players, blah blah blah, and then we have to hear all that again, right? It just doesn't make sense. Like if we skip ahead and we say he's gone, right? I mean, and not because Siripad's here, but in general, if you look at Chelsea, they change their manager a lot. It's just a fact, right? But whenever they bring in a manager, the manager works with whatever he's given. It's not like he's saying I need 3 windows to change all the players and whatever the case is, and they get the results, right? Whatever results they get, and they do over a long period of time. We could say 3 to 5 years. They've done fairly well. They've challenged, they've won trophies, and so on. So it's not that changing a manager is that bad. It's what type of manager you bring in. So
Yeah.
United have to figure this out because they keep changing managers, waiting for Sir Alex's ghost or successor to come from wherever it's gonna come from, and it's not gonna happen. So it's a terrible place to be in because I don't see a, a promising future because the next guy comes in and he's like, I don't like Mboma and Cunha, but we just spent
Yeah.
120 mil on them. Now what? I now ship them out. I want X and Y. Like, it's yeah, it's gonna be
That's kind
tricky.
of what happened to Anthony Sancho and Hoyland. It's exactly what happened. They're gone now. Okay, besides obviously the attitude issues, they've gone now. Bomb squad and
Willian
all.
had no attitude issues, by the
True,
way.
true. Sorry, I
Hoyland
back him.
already
My bad.
scored for Napoli, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. My boy, showing the good stuff. And I will down
But
this hill. Cisco
can
will
I?
go to days and weeks and months without scoring. I'm hoping.
No, 100%. 100%. Like, I mean, like, just on that Hoyland goal, what was the difference of that goal compared to everything that he had at United?
They actually gave him a
No,
quality ball.
yeah, but like the fact is, Ruben Amorim's system is that any creative player has to pass wide, and then the wide player has to cross it in. Why can't you just play a through ball? Like literally the first opportunity that Kevin De Bruyne got in that match, you played a through ball. Hoyland made the run, and he just placed it. That's all.
But that's
Like,
the problem. That's the problem with playing Bruno where he's playing. So I was watching the game against City, right? And sometimes Bruno picks the ball up just in front of the central defender, and he has to play these kind of wide balls or switch the play
Diagonals.
of diagonals. And I'm like, but that's not like if Bruno is further up the pitch, he can play the incisive through ball or the incisive ball
yeah,
into the box so that people can finish, and
But
that's
I,
what he's
I'm
good at.
gonna I'm gonna push back here, right? The ball is at at Bruno's feet, right?
Yeah,
Amorim doesn't have a PlayStation controller plugged into him. Play the
yeah,
pass you
but
want to play.
I
What's the
agree,
manager
but
yeah,
there's
gonna
but
no
do?
availability there.
Let him take you
obviously
off then,
Bruno's
right?
obeying instructions.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
they're all dumb. Honestly, then they're all
I
stupid.
don't oppose that.
Because if
I
you
don't
playing
disagree with
like
that.
See that that's a good point. That's a good point. Like even though managers tell you that you need to do this and that, in the end, if you're on the pitch. If you see a better pass, you have to go for that better pass. You cannot just say the manager has told me. It's not like the goalkeeper situation, right? Where Maresca has told Sanchez to go short or you cannot go long. He told it openly in press conference. That's not the situation here. When it's a midfielder, he has to make the call at that point if he sees a better pass. But then again, my issue with Amorim and United is that they have Sesko, who's brilliant in the air, who can jump higher than all the other defenders in. But then you put the cross in, it doesn't beat the first defender.
Yeah,
So what is the use of having Sesko there? It's like having the Eiffel Tower in front of you and taking a selfie when you're under the Eiffel Tower. What is the use? You don't. You, you could have just taken it at home. You don't need to go to the Paris and do it.
yeah, just use Photoshop.
I like that. I like that comparison. It's great. And it's true as well. Like every time um, they kind of want to give that ball in, and they don't give it in often. But when they do give it in, it hits the first man always. But
Yeah.
I want to get to kind of predictions. Shipad, I'll start with you. Of course, this game is on Saturday evening, and it's Chelsea versus United at Old Trafford. How do you think the game is going to go? Give me some predictions.
I think Chelsea make it 2-0, Palmer and Pedro on the good score sheet. As long as
Okay.
they don't get injured today.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But Palmer just came back and he looked great in that second half against
That's the
Spurs.
thing. So both are not 100% and they will be starting today. So I hope they don't get injured and they come back safe.
That's a 2-0, so a clean sheet. Eh? I guess that makes sense against United, who that can't seem to be scoring any goals. Maybe they get a penalty. You never know. Ziad, your prediction?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting with the way the squad is, right? Because last season they were able to literally field two different teams altogether, and this season because of the level, I think Maresca said it in his press conference recently, that because of the level of opposition, he's gonna have to play the best 11, more often than not. So I think it might have a toll. Like you said, Palmer's not 100% fit. Couple of guys have some niggles. Yeah, it depends how tough this game is today, but I'm gonna, because I want Amorim to stay, man, as long as possible. So I think he gets a result here. Positive result probably for him is a draw. Um,
It is positive.
so
It's
yeah,
true.
probably draw, a low scoring draw, maybe 1-1.
Okay.
But otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea just go all guns
Run away
blazing
with
and
it.
it's a big win for them. But let me
Yeah.
go prediction 1-0.
Okay, lovely stuff. Before AF steals my thing and they want to sell it yet, so I'm going to go next, and I'm going to say, I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. I like the sleeper 2-0, but I'm going to give United a penalty or some goal that goes in off Cucurella. No, not Cucurella. I have my fancy team. A goal that goes in off the keeper, off the bar in from Sanchez. Something random that somehow they will get, or the Stratford end sucks the ball into the net somehow by some beach ball
That doesn't happen anymore.
way. You never know.
But it's Sanchez in
It's at
goal, so anything
Anfield
can
now.
happen.
Exactly,
That's true.
exactly. So, or like a Maguire coming on and scoring a header on the last minute, 2-1 Chelsea. I think that's going to be my prediction. AF, what is it? What's up? Are we keeping the hope?
Absolutely not. I think that derby just like sucked everything out of me, and I think it's going to be a Chelsea 3-1. Mbuemo will probably score, and Garnacho will probably do a celebration in front of Ruben or something. I don't know.
That's going to be ugly. Eh? He's
Yo,
that type.
I,
He's that type.
I'm there for that. I'm there for that. I think that's the only reason I'll watch it.
That'll be so ugly. But hey, just on that quickly, we didn't talk about the derby, but I just want to like quickly before we move on to the another derby, the Merseyside one. I just want to get your opinion on how you guys played the weekend against City, because for me personally, I think you guys played really well. Besides getting the ball into the net, I think you guys did really well. Just in general, City played on the counter attack, which was very odd for me to see. Like I was very confused watching it. But just in general terms, did you think that you played decently in the second half, specifically?
So, like last week's episode, I think Ziad asked the question about like where we saw Man United improving. Like, was it defensive? Was it offensive? Our defensive capabilities over the weekend were absolutely horrendous. Luke Shaw probably had, and we've said this so many times over the years, he's probably had his worst game in a United shirt over the weekend. So yeah, like a lot of like bad defensive decisions. We looked better when Bruno moved higher up, when he moved closer to the box. Mbuemo had a lot of chances. Then Donnarumma with an absolute worldie of a save for that volley as well. But yeah, I mean, it lasted like what, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And so, like, I can't say anything else other than that. Like, by that time,
you look
damage was
defeated,
done.
my friend. You look defeated.
I
This is
am.
not
I
good.
am defeated. I am defeated.
I feel so bad. Anyways, okay, let's leave United for next time rather, because this is not what I'm used to seeing. AF, let's do better than this. AF, let's do something only better than talking about United, and let's talk about Liverpool, the champions. It's I'm sure this will make you feel a lot better.
Absolutely not. Can I go off now?
Seattle, I'll start with you. They scraped the win on the weekend. It annoyed me so much. Last minute, Salah, after having an horrendous game, he was basically chilling on the bench for 90 minutes, and then he came to score the penalty emphatically. I mean, talk to me about it. Are they just that team that's just going to win no matter what? Is that what's going to happen this season?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, you make your own luck. So, they put themselves in positions to capitalize on it, I guess. The thing for me with them that I really like is Slot's management, in-game management. I think he adjusts very well. And often, even if they're playing bad, he'll make a change that works. So, like in this game, for example, when he took Kanate off and he brought on another attacker, so they had like 5 guys, playing up front, but Burnley still held on, which shows their defense actually is pretty good. But I think Liverpool just find ways to win. And like if you go through their 4 games so far, they've had a different match winner in each game. So it was Chiesa out of nowhere in one game, the 16-year-old in another game. Salah's penalty, I mean, it's not really match winner, but yeah, they find ways, man. But I think to jump ahead, I think the Merseyside derbies where they're gonna come unstuck. I think Jack Grealish is gonna go crazy because he's on it.
We love
He's
to
in
hear
great
that.
form. Even though they drew 0-0 to Villa, he was still
Yeah.
Yeah.
controlling the game. So I reckon this is the one. I think Everton's gonna get the result here.
Oh, that's tough. I'm not sure how much I'm going to back you on that one. But just in terms of Liverpool, we saw even in this game, I guess they were kind of they dominated the game. Burnley was more out to defend the goal rather than score any goals. But previously in the previous games, we saw that the Liverpool are kind of I guess they aren't as strong at the back. So can they be gotten at this season? Do we think that they can be kind of they are a bit weak on the defense?
I think that's the problem with Liverpool right now. They have, if anything happens to Van Dijk or Konate, I think they're done for at least a couple of weeks before they adjust into the situation. That missing out on Mark Guehi will be a very, very big issue for them, at least towards the end of the season, because I think that will be the reason they have other teams close to them. I'm not saying they won't win the title still, they are the favorites, but then for other teams to come close to them, I think that would be the key reason that there will be a proper title race instead of this them running away with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that goal miss was massive for them, unfortunately. But so Ziad kind of spoke a little bit about the Everton chance. AF, how do we see the game going? Where do you think the game is going to be won and lost in this game?
I think Liverpool's defense can be caught out very, very quickly. And I think we've seen that over the past like opening weeks. There is a mistake in there. And I think Virgil van Dijk, he's made a couple of mistakes himself. So stuff like that, like that front line of Grealish, Dewsbury Wall, Njai, Beto, they've been like gelling quite well for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think that the combination will somehow try to unlock a goal or two over there. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest spotlights, in my opinion. I think like that Everton team is well within their capabilities to try and unlock that Liverpool defense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I mean, like Ziad said, they played out to a 0-0 draw against Aston Villa, but they had better chances, I think, than Villa on the weekend. Even though I guess it ended 0-0. And like Ziad said, Jack Grealish has been playing like we used to seeing him. I mean, he's not playing in the exact position that he played at Villa, but he's playing on the wide. His ability to cut in, him and Dewsbury Wall together have been playing really well.
Yeah.
It's been really nice to see them interchanging a lot. But I don't know, Liverpool just seem to somehow
It's at Anfield, right?
so much. That's what?
Is it at Anfield?
That's a good question. I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
If
It's
it
at
is,
Anfield,
then
yeah.
I'm
It is at
probably going to
Anfield.
change my entire answer.
It is at Anfield, yeah. It's at Anfield.
Okay, then never mind. Forget everything that I said.
Don't forget, you make good points. But I mean, they'll probably, as long as they go out and I think the big thing is that they don't sit in like Burnley did. I'm not saying Burnley did anything wrong. I just mean like, in order for them to kind of get a result, I think they're going to need to have some sort of attacking movement at some point.
Yeah.
They can't just go in and sit in there because I honestly don't think their defense is that good. Like they have good players. I think they're all prone to mistakes though, which is a bit of an issue. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of works out in the end. Supad, I'll start with you again. What is your prediction for the Liverpool Everton game this weekend?
2-2.
I like
I
that.
think
Okay.
I think Dewsbury Hall and Enjoy to get the goals for Everton with Van Dijk brace, both from corners.
Okay, interesting.
wild.
I'm glad that you didn't
I'm
say
not.
Salah.
I know. I'm like there's a FPL bias there, but still, I think that's going to be the thing there. Salah, I think there's a good chance he will be man marked out of the game. David Moyes will try to do the thing. Mourinho's classic Herrera and Hazard type of a situation. He'll try to keep Gakpo out, but then there's a good chance. I just saw that Isaac is starting for Liverpool tonight, so that kind of makes it a tough situation because if Isaac starts on in the Merseyside derby, there'll be a bit of a trouble for Tarkowski to handle him. But if it's Ekitike, I think Tarkowski will get the better of him easily.
I think Ekitike has been like not underrated, but I think he's done really well this season so far. Surprisingly, I'm not sure. Like I didn't really rate him as much as he's shown since he's come into the Premier League. I mean, he's hit the ground running quite a lot. But just in terms of that, Shripad, do we think that there's a chance that we can see all four of them play, or all five of them, I guess, if you include Wirtz? But like, can all of them play at the same time, or is it a rotational thing that we're going to have to see from Liverpool?
I think to start off, I think there'll be a rotation there. I don't think either Isaac or Ekitike should be pushed to the left wing. And in the left wing, I think we have as well Gakpo doing well. In terms of if Ekitike and Isaac is supposed to start, I think the one dropping to the bench would be Wirtz because he needs a bit of a break. Right now, he's in the spotlight. There's too much pressure on him. I'm not sure if he's able to handle it properly. So if Slot is going for a change, I think he'd go for a 4-2-4 with Gravenberch and probably Szoboszlai with him in the middle. And then we have these two strikers up front, Salah on one side, chilling, and the other side, Gakpo working hard.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that you could give me like a way somehow that Salah wasn't going to start anymore, but I guess it's impossible for that to happen.
I think if Salah doesn't start, I think it'll probably be the end of Slot at Liverpool.
That's fair. Especially since
but also they just like broke bank to give him such a huge contract. Yeah. He's going to be playing every minute of the season.
I'm okay with that as long as he pulls a shift and doesn't score.
Yeah, I think he like gave everything that he had. He sold his soul for that extra contract, and then that's it. Now he's in vacation mode. He's turned into Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, he's Sterling now for sure. I think Shripad actually, Shripad gave me a really interesting thought process there, and he spoke about Szoboszlai. And every time I watch Liverpool, my favorite player to watch is Szoboszlai. I think he's doing a really good job. Just wherever they play him, he's sometimes at right back, he's sometimes at the base of the midfield, he's sometimes attacking alongside Ekitike when Wirtz goes off. How has it been this season for you? Do you think he's a bit going under the radar a little bit?
No, I don't think he's going under the radar. He's been really good, and you see with Slot. Last year it was Gravenberch, and I think this season his magic is all going to Szoboszlai. So he doesn't really go unnoticed. His work is there for everyone to see. Obviously, filling in at right back because of their situation. Maybe you don't see his midfield contribution, but he's someone that does a lot, but doesn't always show up on the stats that we look at. Goals and assists, perhaps. But he's a really good player, and I think looks like it's going to be his season. Gravenberch seems to be a bit off the pace in comparison to how he played last season. And the more Szoboszlai plays well, the more pressure goes on Wirtz because essentially he's pushing him out of position. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. But I think he's probably their best midfielder to start the season.
Agreed. And the only reason I said that was because I assumed when they bought Wirtz that he would kind of replace Szoboszlai in the starting lineup, but I'm glad they kind of found a place for both of them. Your prediction for the game, Ziad?
Liverpool Everton.
Yeah.
2-1 Everton.
2-1 Everton at Anfield. Lovely to watch. I like hopefully it will come through. AF, your prediction for the game?
Yeah, so initially I was going to say 2-1 Everton, but that was before I knew it was at Anfield. So I'm reversing that to 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, that's fair. I also would have gone that way, but I'm going to go with Shripad. I'm going to go with a draw because I love Jack Grealish and I want him to score both goals. So I'm going to trust my gut feeling and my love for Jack Grealish to say 2-2. And I would have also gone with you, AF, on the Everton win if it was at the new stadium, Sam Dickinson Fella Stadium. I was going to say Goodison Park, and I realized that it wasn't. So, anyways, hopefully they will kind of get the result this weekend and Liverpool will stop kind of finding a way to win somehow, some way. The last game we're going to preview this weekend, it's, I guess, the biggest one in terms of profile. and it's Manchester City against Arsenal. It's um, Sunday evening game at the Emirates, and 5:30 our time, South African time, I guess. And it's going to be a massive game. Ziad, since it's your team, I'll come to you. In terms of just, you guys are on a high at the moment, right? You guys doing well. Obviously, a great goal. I'm trying, Ramis. I'm getting there somehow. Um, a great goal from Soboslai to obviously take the draw away from you guys, take the points. But other than that, I think you guys have been doing really well this season. What are your expectations for this game? Do you think you guys have a good chance of winning?
Yeah, I think so. Um, I don't see why not. It just depends if they play a bit more free instead of just sitting tight. I mean, they're playing at home, so they should be
Yeah,
playing a bit more free. The interesting thing that I want to see, obviously, our defense is really good, so I think we should be able to handle whatever City can throw at us. But City have started playing a bit more direct, so they've stopped passing so much, in the back, and they started getting the ball forward to guys like Doku. So I'm interested to see how that unfolds, but I think we'll have enough to beat City.
yeah, it's going to be interesting because if they play the same that they played against United, I think your guys' defense is a lot better equipped to kind of handle that, and I don't think you guys will concede like the way United conceded, which is going to be interesting. So I think that City are going to have to try something different against you guys to try and get the result.
Yeah, but I
But
mean, if Saliba is not fit to play, then Mosquera, who's done well, but him
He's
up
been
against
amazing.
Haaland, it could be a very interesting battle, and Haaland's in great form. So the
yeah,
inexperience versus the world class striker, you're either gonna come out there looking like the best signing of the window, or you're gonna be humbled and put um, back down a few pegs there. So it could go either way. Because I mean, I've liked what I've seen from Haaland this season. I think he's hungry. He's shown, obviously, beside that hitting the post, he's been clinical,
yeah.
and they're giving him some good service as well. I mean, we're not going to play a high line per se, but if Arsenal do end up having a lot of possession, you can see a lot of space creeping up behind there, because the guys will just be going forward, 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 and they'll leave a lot of space for a ball over the top, and that's where City have been thriving this season so far. So it's just discipline, man. I think it will come down to that, but we have enough to beat City.
Yeah, it's interesting because that long ball to Ireland and to Doku and those players, and then having kind of the machine that is the Johnny Reinders running past them and creating more space is it's different from City. It's very different. Sripa, just in terms of the game specifically, how do you think it's going to go? Do we feel like City will kind of play that way? Do we think that they will start a different team maybe so that they can play more keep ball like they used to, or do we think that they're still going to play on the counter attack?
I think Guardiola will stick to his system because he knows that Arteta will want to keep possession and try to pull them out of position. So he will try to minimize that and try to keep his backline also intact and not just press ahead. So I think it'll be a proper chess match because if you don't move, even I won't move kind of a situation. Both teams will probably want to avoid the loss more than just go for the win. Maybe we'll see at the last 15, 20 minutes where they'll start attacking. But I think the first half will be a snooze fest.
Okay, interesting. I would have agreed with you if it was at the Etihad, I think. But I'm not sure about the Emirates. It might be a bit different. Ayif, what are your thoughts about the game? Are you excited about it? Is it going to be a really good kind of free-flowing game of football? Or do you think, like Shipat said, it's going to be a complete snooze fest where both teams just want to sit in?
No, I don't think it's going to be a snooze fest. I think that if there was any time for Arsenal to pounce on City, it would be now. Um, uh,
I'm with
Over
you.
the weekend, the derby like ended the way that it did because United were bad
Yeah,
for the most
not
part.
because City was good.
I think City haven't looked that great so far this season. Ireland has been amazing, but that's because he's just a freak of nature. I think for I read a stat on Twitter or threads or something this week that Rodri was the most dispossessed City player over the weekend, and like
Interesting.
he didn't really look that great either. And like if you look on the flip side to Arsenal, their midfield looks better every game, and Zubomendi, he just looks like the complete real deal over there. And I think that Arteta will be cautiously optimistic about his chances as well. I think he knows these City players quite well as well. So yeah, I think if there's any time for Arsenal fans to be optimistic about the result against City, it would probably be this weekend.
Yeah, but I mean, the Arteta situation is where I will disagree with you there. I mean, Arteta can be the most optimistic person, and he'll go into a game that he is definitely supposed to win, or and then sit in and hope for the draw and say they played well, which is
Yeah,
the
but
worst
I mean,
mentality that I hate it
he
so
has
much.
really good quality players in
No, agreed.
almost every position now.
Yeah,
And then
agreed.
if you look at last night as well, Martinelli just came off the bench. I think it was like 31 seconds or something.
Yeah,
Martinelli has been below average for
Sapa.
for the season, and he came on and then he put his hand up, and I think that is what this competition that he spoke about brings out. So he
Yeah,
has literally two or three players in every single position. They all want to be starters, and Martinelli just came on yesterday and he took that immediately. Trossard the same. He also
yeah,
scored last night. So
yeah.
these are all players. The competition is going to make all of these players so much better, and I don't think that's a bad thing for Arsenal.
No, fully agreed. I think that's the biggest strength this season. I'll be so honest, and it's the fact that their squad is the best squad in the league.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. I think all around, front to back, their squad is the best squad out of all the teams in the league. So I think that's going to be the biggest strength this season. Ziad, just before we get to predictions, in your mind, who are you starting? Because like I have said, Trossard and Martinelli comes in, they score, and it's kind of difficult to what you want. It depends on what you want out of the game and how you want to play. So who are you starting? I think the middle three is kind of set. Saliba was on the bench last night. I'm not sure if he came on, but the middle three and the back four seem settled. But who starts on the wings for you?
Look, just to go back on a few points there. Firstly, the Martinelli thing. If you look at that, he did nothing that he doesn't always do. He was at the halfway line to kick the ball behind the defenders and he ran. In the Premier League, he doesn't get that space because he's playing wide and everyone's playing a low block. So it's not like he did something that he never
True.
does. It's just that there's no space to run into. So he doesn't look like he looked yesterday. And let's be honest, he kicked the ball straight at the goalie. The goalie was probably like, "Oh my word, I need to dive here," and then the ball actually went straight at him and he just froze. Trossard's been good. I think Trossard is the perfect super sub. He should
Yeah,
always be in the mix to play 15 to 20 minutes at the end of a game. He shouldn't be starting. And I agree with Sripad. Actually, it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be a snooze fest. I fell asleep yesterday. I think I slept most of the game, and I'm not upset. I'm fine. I'm happy to take the points because I've supported this club so long where we were winning and everyone was like, look how good they play, and then they lose. Oh, but we
yeah,
create more chances. Oh, we're nice to watch. I don't care anymore, bruh. If you must win every game 1-0 for the rest of the season, I'll take it. I don't care if people don't want to watch it. I can't be asked at all. So I agree it's going to be a snooze fest. And you talk about starting. Man, if he starts Marino, Subamendi, and Rice, you can all go sleep because that means that game is there we're gonna get to halftime with this group and probably 65 minutes, not concede, and then I'll throw on Dauman, Waneri, or whoever's there to open the game up, right? Hopefully, if it stays 0-0. So I'm hoping
But
he's a
that's a
bit
safe
more.
midfield.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't
that's
want
the
safe.
problem.
If that's what I'm telling you, like if you play that safe midfield, then you can all go to sleep because that's all that's gonna happen. You saw it yesterday. That midfield literally just recycles possession.
Yeah.
So if
Wait, is
he's
Odegaard
gonna
still
be a
injured?
bit more, who?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Odegaard.
Odegaard is injured. So if
Okay.
he's gonna play Nwaneri in that spot, if he plays Eze there and plays Martinelli wide, then you can
Mm.
see okay, he's actually gonna go and try and attack a little bit, right? But I guarantee, if you see that three midfielders, it's a
I
safe
can
and
switch off.
trying to win 1-0.
I
So
don't think he'll
if you
change the midfield. I think he'll stick with that. I think he'll stick with
yeah, and then
Merino,
that's just gonna be
Rice, and
a safe
Zubimendi.
midfield.
I
So
think
then it
that's
is at
that's going to
one
be his
nil.
plan.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it. I don't see. That's why I said I'm with Sripad on this one. Don't bother waiting to watch the game. It's not going to be that interesting. But as an Arsenal fan, whatever we need to do to get 3 points, tired of finishing second, right? So if we have to be boring to win games, then by all means, let's be boring.
That's a fair outlook. I don't think about that, but that's a fair outlook. I mean, the point that you made there about that you guys always play. That's why I don't hate Arsenal at the end of the day as a Spurs fan, because I used to love the way that you played. And fair enough that you never helped you. You never won anything with it. So that's a very good point. I would be interested to see, like you said, Eze playing there in the middle alongside Rice and Zubamendi. I'd love to see that.
That would be nice, yeah, because you can put Martinelli wide and
Yeah.
Madueke on the other side.
And you
That's-
still
But
have
you,
Tillman and
but
Trossard.
you know Arteta now, like he has his Spanish midfielders, so he sees himself in them. So there's no way that Zubamendi and Merino are losing their places in that midfield.
Zubamendi is the first name on the
Yeah.
sheet after
Yeah.
Gabriel, probably. He's going to play every game as long as he's fit. Marino,
Yeah,
he
for sure.
said in his press conference recently, Marino came back on a high after scoring a hat-trick for Spain and so on. That's why he sat Rice in the Premier League, right, to build it. And I don't have a problem with that. Like, as a manager or as a coach, like, you got to read your players, man. If someone's feeling confident, if someone's on a high, you want to try and use it as long as possible. So you do make changes, you look at personality and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he picks at 3, go to sleep.
But-
It's just gonna be lock down the midfield and then see what happens.
I'm just gonna go back to the starting of the show and what Ziad said. He was like, as a manager, when we were talking about Amorim, as a manager, you do what you need to do to secure your 3 points. So if Arteta, like regardless of whether it's a boring midfield or whatever's going to happen, if he knows that midfield can secure him 3 points, then that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look,
That's
if you take Riaz, for example, right? Spurs are doing well, they're winning games, whatever. So he appears this week as a host. So you ride your guys, man. You you put them in position to succeed and you roll with it.
It's better than last year when you brought me on and we were 17th on the table. That didn't feel good. Not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, it's fine. We won something. It was nice. Thank you. We went the whole episode without saying anything about Spurs, and then
Have to bring
at
you
the
in
end.
anyway.
But thanks for that. I appreciate it. Anyways, so we're going to go for our final predictions now. And I'm going to start us off because I am going to go the complete opposite direction. I believe he's going to start Eze, Zubamendi, and and Declan, obviously. I think it's going to be a great open game. I think Tijani Reinders is going to force the game to be kind of a bit more voluminous. I guess that's a word even. It's going to go quicker than what we think. And I think it's going to be a 3-2 Arsenal win, just because I think it's going to be interesting. And I think it's going to be fast-paced. And even if, I'm not even going to say even if Merino starts, I'm not going to get there. I'm with Ziad. If Merino starts, we off the TV. But I believe Eze is going to start in the middle, and it's going to be free-flowing, and it's going to be good to watch because both teams are supposed to be the best teams in the league at playing football. So hopefully they will go there and they will do that. So 3-2 for me. Arsenal win. Sripad, your prediction for the game?
I'm going for a 2-2. Arsenal to score from 2 corners and then Haaland to score 2.
Standard.
That's as standard as you get. I like that. That's as standard as you get. 2
That's the
corners.
safest bet with Arsenal, that they'll have as many more shots from corners than open play. I think that's the easiest bet with Arsenal.
Yeah, that's fair. Ziad, we haven't seen maybe because I haven't watched them as much, but I haven't seen the set piece coach come out as much this season. Is he taking a sabbatical or what's going on?
Nah, he's spending some time in Saudi, I believe. He's consulting with him. So he's flying to a couple of Saudi games in and around. But yeah.
Sripad's
got something with the corners, eh? Virgil scoring 2 this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Sripad has some side bits going on
insider
over
knowledge. Yeah, some insider knowledge from Sripad there on the
No,
corners.
the Liverpool prediction was just for FPL purposes, nothing else. This one is because it's Arsenal. Arsenal is Arsenal, so I know Chelsea have scored more goals from set pieces this season, but still that tag will be for Arsenal that they play for the corners.
Yeah. And I personally, I solidly believe it's because of the set piece coach that's their brand. But in any case, Ziad, your prediction for the game?
1-0 Arsenal.
Oh, both. You're just going completely boring. The
Because
game is going to be a
that's what
Spurs
I'm
fest.
going on the evidence that I've seen in the last couple of weeks.
A goal from the corner.
A corner
Possible.
goal, yeah.
I mean, goal can come from anywhere. Actually, I'm more open to the fact that a goal can come from anywhere now. Because Gyökeres does some weird stuff. Like you don't think there's a goal there, and then suddenly he's got a shot or he's run past someone. It's
He's
refreshing to have that
interesting. Yeah.
random
That's true.
in the box. And if they can give him a ball early, maybe he can do a little bit more. But otherwise, he's just gonna watch the game until a random melee in the box there, and he
I
could
don't
score.
know.
But yeah, I think 1-0. I think Gabriel and Haaland's gonna be a nice watch because there's some history there. I like those things, man. But then Needle. But for the neutral, I think an early goal makes this game better, regardless of who scores it. Whichever team scores an early goal, it could actually open the game up and make it interesting. But yeah, 1-0. I'll stick with that.
Agreed. Early goal would probably be best for the game. AF, kick us off here, or I guess end us off with your prediction, please.
I was going to take your prediction, the
Really?
3-2 Arsenal win, but
I thought you
I
were
think
going to go
I'm just going
boring.
to scale it down to a 2-1 Arsenal win. Like Arsenal still gets a win, but yeah, I didn't want to go the same right as you, so yeah, just scaling it down a bit.
I went high because I thought everybody else was going to go low, and now everybody went 2 or more goals besides Ziad. So that's good. I like that. It means it's going to be more
You are
entertaining.
polarizing figure, man. So when you do something, we all just gravitate towards the opposite.
That's a lie. I'm usually the one that sits on the fence. I thought that's not my brand.
Just something quickly. Liverpool released their starting 11 now for the Atletico Madrid game, and Isak starts tonight.
Okay.
So
instead of Ekitike, is that
instead
what's
of
happening?
Ekitike, he's on the bench here.
Okay, interesting. I'm be interested to see how that's gonna go, especially and
There's
the rest of
definitely
them
an
all
injury coming in this game, bro. Diego Simeone is dangerous. Someone's getting
he is dangerous. I'm not gonna lie. He's very
raucous.
dangerous. Him and his team are honestly for me the scariest team to play because.
They don't have Julian Alvarez today, so they're just going to like all 10 of them will be in the box defending. They won't care about like we've seen the cartoons where they stand inside the post. They'll be open to doing that also if it's possible.
See, everyone always talks about Arteta and Pep, right? But I'm telling you, bro, Arteta is more Diego Simeone than Pep. That's and if you look at the guy that he brought to be his assistant, Gabriel Heinze is also Simeone vibes. You can see that guy's gonna kick you, he's gonna elbow you, he's gonna push you. That seems to be more him than the Pep. So maybe it's miscast as that. But I feel like we're coming to the India, so I just want to hijack the episode quickly.
Yeah, please
put
do.
Riaz under the spotlight.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, tell us about your team in 90 seconds. How are you feeling as a Spurs supporter? Good start to the season. A nice own goal win yesterday. How are you feeling? Give us 90 seconds.
90 seconds. Okay. I think we've done well this season. It's hard not to get carried away. I think defensively we looked a lot better than what we did last season, which is great news. I think at that expense, though, is the attack. I think attacking and going forward, we look a bit disjointed at times. We score goals, but I think we look disjointed. And I think that's because we play 3 CDMs in the center of the park for security, as opposed to kind of having Travis Simons playing as a cam, because obviously Madison is now injured. So I think that is a bit of an issue. But even saying that, I think Sa has been our best player, so it's difficult not to play him and not to start him in the center of the park. So once I think Simons switches to a cam position and we play Brennan Johnson or someone else out wide, I think going forward we'll look a bit better. But defensively we've looked really well, very good this season, quite solid. Except for the Bournemouth game, which we won't speak about. But other than that, I think we've done really well this season so far. And yeah, Thomas the Frank engine all the way, choo-choo. Thank you for that.
Nice, I like it. Okay, you can have the episode back now.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. But thank you guys all for coming this evening, of course. Chat for all the guys in the chat. Ziad, where can people find you on the internet, on places where people want to find you, your home address, all that kind of stuff?
We'll keep that off the map, especially since these apps are asking you to share your location all the time.
Yeah,
the usual. Just catch me on the socials, engage. A lot of sport happening. on Sunday, especially, we've got the Grand Prix, so a lot of interesting sport on Sunday. Leading up to the Arsenal game, there's obviously the NFL, which we've been talking about quite a bit. So yeah, I'm there for all of it.
Ziad is also our dedicated Twitter SportyCast tweeter. Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Social media manager.
There you go. Thank you. I'm not sure about social media, as you can hear. So he's our social media manager. He tweets often from that account. I mean, every day there's different sporting codes, and he's tweeting about all types of things. So make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. Sleepad, where can people find you?
I'm Paul Swinger everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, I think almost all social media handles. I think I've saved it, but I don't use all of them. I use only Twitter. I don't use anything else.
Lovely stuff. Thanks you so much as well, once again, for joining us this week, Sleepad. We appreciate it. AF, where can people find you on the socials? If you want them to, don't give them your home address, because I might be coming out to that bathroom at some point.
The home address stays confidential, but AF Walker 642 on all social media platforms. Yeah, I'm probably just going to be swearing about Ruben Amorim if he doesn't change anything. That's all.
That's a lie. That's a lie, AF. Come on. That's a lie. You love him. We're going to support him till the end. We love
You
him.
probably. I think you are more of a Ruben Amorim stan right now than I am.
I am, probably. But I will say, if Haaland was there still, I would have been more behind him. But he's not, so I'm less behind him now, unfortunately. But yeah, so also follow us. Thank you guys once again in the chat, all you guys who messaged Ramiz, Jason, everybody who was in the chat earlier. We appreciate you guys, Kuru and all of them. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on wherever you find you on what's the thing called? Sport. What's it called? Not SportyCast.
Blue Sky.
Threads, Blue Sky. Wherever you find your podcast as well. Make sure you follow us.
You're like Brendan Johnson for 60 minutes. He couldn't find a pass.
Brendan Johnson. At least I'm going to end up on the far post somehow and tapping it in. That's the important part at the end of the day. Death taxes and Brendan on the far post. That's what we love to see. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining us. Thank you three for joining me as well this evening. Follow SportyCast on all available platforms. And there's lots of sport this weekend. Will be. Oh, you can also follow me as well, I suppose, at Parker_Diaz. I won't be tweeting that much, but you can follow me if you really want to. Don't come to my house though.
Diaz is going to be tweeting about WrestlePalooza this weekend.
No, Diaz will not be tweeting about WrestlePalooza this weekend. Also,
trying to figure out which quarterback to pick.
Now you see, I was just about to say, if you have any fantasy football, NFL tips, you can tweet at me and tell me all the tips that you have. It's my first year playing, so I have no idea what's going on. But and my matchup this week is against Ziad. So if you have any tips on how to beat him in this matchup this weekend, let me know. But yeah, as Ziad said, there's lots of sport to look forward to. So yeah, enjoy it, and we'll be back next week, same time, 7 p.m. next week, Wednesday. And we'll see you, I guess. Then enjoy the week of sport and take it easy.